Thank you very much. Please get seated.
I think that's a reflection of how long overdue this award is, Niki. Let's get the whole teammate thing out of the way first of all. You're receiving the award from John Watson eventually. How supportive a teammate was he down the years at Brabham and McLaren?
What can you say? I mean, a man who's won all these world championships came to Brabham. I mean, he brought the team sponsor, persuaded Bernie that whatever's on a bit of paper doesn't matter if you're number one or number two, it's how you work with the people you work with. And Niki was just outstanding.
Is that the way you remember it, Niki?
No. I'm really upset about you, you know that. You know why?
You're talking about the night in Rio when you got lost going back to the hotel.
No.
You remember that?
No. Because you didn't sign a contract in time with Ron Dennis. I had Alain Prost next to me, the little Frenchman, which I had to fight to the end for half a point, and then I had to retire. If you would have stayed, I would have still raced.
I would have stayed. I would have stayed. The mistake. The mistake is what that little Frenchman did to get fired by Renault in the first place.
It's true. No, but I have to say, I always had a very good relation with my friend here, and a lot of fun, I have to say.
It was great. I mean, some of the things that happened, I doubt drivers of this generation will ever enjoy because we had more space, more time, more freedom. I mean, the only time you had a debrief is when you wanted to do something off the track that you probably weren't really meant to be doing. And it was just a much more relaxed period. And I mean, I want to tell this little story. It was so funny for me. Niki mightn't find it funny, but in Rio, 78, between the two Grand Prix, on the Saturday night, we all went out to a wonderful club called Hippopotamus. And remember that band called Chic? Nile Rodgers, well, they had a song out, Le Chic. Brilliant night. So got back to the hotel Sunday morning. Ghedini, what was he called? Santi Ghedini was the Parmalat representative, and he also looked after Niki. On the phone, John, where's my car? Where's the car? I said, what are you talking about? It was 8 o'clock in the morning. He only got to bed a couple of hours ago. What had happened was, in the middle of the evening, Niki decided, it's time to go back to the hotel. I've had enough. So he got the keys of the car from Ghedini. You remember this or not?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
So he got in the car. Now, this is the man that used to be called the computer. This is before sat-nav, but he knew if he pointed the old Alpha due east, he would come to the beach, and if he turned 90 degrees, he'd get to the hotel. This is the computer. Driving down.
No.
Oh, let me finish this story.
Wait.
Driving down, gets to the water. Okay, I found the water. Follow the water, I'll get to the hotel. Half an hour later, he realizes he's found the lake in the middle of Rio de Janeiro. He's been driving around it. Is that right?
Wrong. I left the party because I felt very bad.
That was the whiskey, wasn't it?
Nevertheless, I said, I have to get home. So I got in this stupid Alpha and had a puncture.
Only because he had curbed the Alpha.
On the left rear. And I drove through Rio with a puncture. All the fireworks coming off my rim. And the Brazilian fans stopped me. Said, you have a puncture. I know. Where the bloody hell is my hotel? I left the car in the middle of the road, got in a taxi, will I never forget, these Volkswagens where you have to sit in the back, there was no front seat. And the guy looked at me and said, I want to go to the hotel. And he said, hotel what? And I said, Sheraton. He got me there.
Yeah, I know he did.
And I fall asleep and...
Anyway, Ghedini found the car about 4 hours later on Sunday morning.
Correct.
Well, let's just remind ourselves this is a Lifetime Achievement Award. We're trying to give away here.
This was a lifetime achievement.
Rather than managing to get home from a night out award. When you look back at the World Championship title, just about with McLaren in company of Alain Prost, those great years with Ferrari. When do you feel that you were at your best as a driver?
Fighting with Prost for half a point through the whole season. I have to say, it was really tough. So there are races which you didn't even win, and you knew that you did a good job. So it all depends how you rate. But I mean, the last year with McLaren was the hardest ever, because with the Ferraris in the beginning, the first championship was easy because the car was the best. Then the second year the car was the best, and I crashed, unfortunately, burned my ear, so it got a little difficult. And the third year was pretty easy, but the McLaren time was really hard.
Yeah. And getting back from a nightclub in Rio, that was the toughest drive of all.
Never did it again. I never did it again.
But, I mean, obviously we've been reintroduced to all the drama and heroics of the mid-70s with the film Rush. Did that characterize you correctly? Did the message and the portrayal, was that accurate?
I have to say yes. And my wife, Birgit, who is here, said, have you always been that mad? I said, yes. In the old days, yes. But now I think, what do you think? Handsome? Nice?
It was a great tip. It's the best time, I think, in Formula One, because there was danger, which we don't seem to have today, and lots of drivers were winning races, which we don't seem to have today. So altogether, I think it was a very dangerous period, but it was a very good period to be in Formula One.
Well, I'm glad you approved of the portrayal, because the man who got so sort of eerily close to you in the making of that film, Daniel Brühl, he's a fan of yours, and he said some very nice things which are up on the screen.
Hi, Niki. I wish I could be in London tonight to celebrate your career and the richly deserved award you will receive. It was a huge honor to play you in Rush. I learned a lot from you. I respect you, I admire you, and I like you. I bet most of the people who receive an award like this will take it easy, slow down, look back and retire. That won't happen in your case. So don't party too much, get back to work and kick ass. Bye, Niki.
He got it right, didn't he? And it's prompted everyone's renewed interest in that era. Has it changed things for you? The public perception of your place in motorsport, that film?
I have to say the film was done in a very good way with high professional people of the movie business. Peter Morgan, who wrote the script exactly what I told him. There's a little bit of Hollywood in there, as has to be. But then when Ron Howard came on board and they explained to me they have to make a film of today. And I think this is very well achieved. I was impressed myself. When I saw the film the first time,
Yeah.
I really looked at it in a funny way, and when I saw Daniel Brühl in the beginning of the movie, I saw they really must have been a real big, you know what I mean? I don't want to say it here in Britain. But when I saw the movie a couple of times, then it got easier because the public liked the movie, so I thought that was not that bad.
Absolutely not. Let's bring things right up to date. You're back at the sharp end of the sport. 2 points. Your first year's experience of Lewis Hamilton, what sort of conclusions have you found about the talent there?
Very good, because I want to say something officially here. Ross Brown, unfortunately, is not here. I really wanted to thank him, what he did in the past for Mercedes and what he especially did this year. He and me were the first who thought of Lewis at the right moment to get him away from McLaren and come to us. This was, I think, one of the magic things to get the team going in a different way with all the technical support we had. So to finish second in the championship behind Red Bull, I have to say, was a big achievement because we had to do 2 steps. But in this case, I want really to congratulate Sebastian, who is sitting over there, which I really admire for 4 championships in a row. There's Christian there and Adrian there. I really have to say, guys, unbelievable. And I do not know today what I have to do to beat you guys, but I will certainly try.
Well, you've answered my second question as well. It's obviously a regret to lose Ross Brawn, but it's a wonderful privilege to be able to honor you with a Lifetime Achievement Award here tonight. Gregor Grant Award for the great Niki Lauda.
Thank you.
And John Watson, thank you very much indeed.